Hey guys, I'm Hellhound, and welcome to my midnight spook show. And it actually is midnight this time. Yay. So I'm gonna go to review New Year's Evil from 1980, directed by Emmett Alston. Yes, that's right. Yet another slasher film from 1980. There seems to be a lot of those that I reviewed lately. Um, I'd say this is a pretty good movie. I've always liked it. Now, it's flawed. There's certain things that aren't done very well, but there's also a lot of things that are done very well, making it a very memorable and very engaging watch. And let's dig right in. Roz Kelly plays Diane Sullivan, who is a punk rock disc jockey and like radio, on the radio, has her own show and hosts concerts and stuff. Who starts receiving phone calls from a mysterious killer, a mysterious man known, referring to himself only as evil, and he says he's going to kill somebody at the stroke of midnight in every time zone. It's New Year's Eve, by the way, obviously. Like, they're counting down New Year's, everybody's partying and drinking and saying, the New Year's going to come, celebrating a new year. I guess it was like from 79 to 80 or 80 to 81, I don't know. But, Celebration of the Macabre, it turns out to be. At first she thinks it's some lunatic just harassing her or just playing around or making some sick joke, cruel New Year's prank. But soon after, several women that she knows start dying each time the stroke of midnight in every time zone. So I guess like a total of 4 murders take place. It's every time zone, every time there's a new year arrives in each all over the world, somebody dies by this man. And her son, Derek, played by Grant Kramer, who you might recognize from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. He played Mike. He's in the movie, too, as a minor character. And the thing is, about this movie is, the killer is played by Kip Niven. And that is not a spoiler, because they show his face right away. He's giving her phone calls. He's using a distorted, voice modulator, some kind of, electronic device, making his voice sound really, distorted and inhuman, and the thing is, it shows his face constantly, and we hear his voice, but we don't know who he is. His identity is the mystery, so it is kind of a mystery. It is kind of a whodunit, but we see his face plenty of times. His name, played by Kip Niven. Hell, his face is even on the freaking cover, for God's sake. So it wasn't that type of slasher to where it's an unseen assailant who's always in the shadows, and we see him kill people off screen. It actually shows his face quite a bit. So we see this killer. We just don't know who he is. We don't know who his identity is. Does he have a connection to Diane, or is he somebody from our past, or is he some random prankster? Who is he? And I think when the movie finally revealed who he was, I won't give it away. This is a spoiler-free review. I think it was done pretty well, and it kind of caught me off guard. I didn't really see it coming. I mean, I figured, I assumed it was like somebody who had a connection to her, and when it finally revealed who he was and how he was, what his relation was to her, I thought, that's pretty genius, actually. It's pretty brilliant. I've never seen anything like that quite before, at least not that came out before this movie in 1980. So I thought that was very clever, and I really liked Kip Niven's performance. Him and Roz Kelly and Grant Kramer all did a commendable acting job in this movie. Some of the other characters weren't all that interesting, but it's mostly like cops who are trying to bring down the killer and trying to get Diane to keep him on the phone so they can trace the call and find out who's doing the killing before he can get to her. He threatens that he's going to kill her too. She's going to be his final victim for the night before the new year or during the new year or whatever. And so, I really like the killer. He's brilliant. Man, he blends in really well. He changes he's a master of disguise. He changes his voice. He masquerades as a cop. He masquerades as a preacher. He can just get anywhere. He takes people hostage. He threatens people. He even takes on a gang of bikers at one point. So I really like Kip Niven in this movie. The only other movie I've seen him in is Magnum Force, which is the second Dirty Harry movie. But I'm sure you've probably seen him in other movies too, but he does really good. He kind of looks like Jeffrey Combs, but he does a great job. I thought he was a very interesting killer, and I couldn't wait to find out what his connection was to Diane and why he's doing these things, why he's murdering these women. Some good gore scenes. A lot of the kills are kind of off-screen, and there's not a whole lot of blood or violence, but the gore that is in the film is done relatively well. The movie's not really about that. It's more finding out what this killer is all about. Who is he? What does he want? And awesome atmosphere, like during the concert venue. The awesome bands, an awesome soundtrack by this band called Shadow. And I think there's another band called Made in Japan. This band Shadow, they play throughout the movie. They play this song called New Year's Evil, the same as the title of the movie. It's such a great song. Like, you should look it up after you watch this review on YouTube or something. And like, man, it's a very catchy song. It's definitely an earworm. It definitely stuck in my head. It stayed with me, years after I watched this movie for the first time. Great song. One of the best movie songs I've ever heard. They play it throughout the movie, so it's great. It's got such a great, awesome beat to it. Such a great melody. They play some other great songs too. So yeah, I love the soundtrack. I love the atmosphere with like a bunch of metalheads and punk rockers everywhere wearing leather jackets and chains, and even Roz Kelly as Diane Sullivan is she's a punk rocker. She's got the red hair and the makeup, and I think maybe some tattoos too. So yeah, I love that whole scene. I love movies that have like things like that in it. I love that atmosphere. And I love how this killer's so mysterious. We don't know who exactly he is. It shows his face, we hear his voice, we see him throughout the movie manipulating people and like tricking women and then murdering them. But we don't know who he is and and what his deal is. He's constantly calling Diane using that distorted voice and further threatening her and telling her other things and then kind of bragging and kind of like about what he's done and rejoicing, and he definitely enjoys what he does. And he's very, he's very fun to watch. And like he's just like he's grinning and like it's kind of infectious. Like I was watching him, I was like laughing along, dude. But yeah. Now the slight downside, as I said, other than Diane, Derek, her son, and the killer. None of the other characters were very interesting. All the victims, I were kind of, I was kind of rooting for him to the killer in this movie because a lot of them were really annoying. They were annoying women who wouldn't shut up and I don't know, like this chick who has in this car, she just keeps talking about random stuff, and she goes off on tangents, kind of like I do, I guess. But she'll be talking about one thing, and then it leads to another thing, and she just never be quiet. I'll just kill her already. Some of the characters here are just insufferable idiots. And the cop characters too. Some of these cops are really stupid. Some bubbling idiot cops that make really dumb decisions and they say, I'm staying here right with you. I'm going to guard for my life. It's like, oh, stay out there while I change. Oh, okay. See you later. And it's just I don't know. I thought that was dumb. And yes, when it revealed the killer's motivations and origin, it revealed who he was. Well, when we found out who he was, I thought that was done well. But it revealed why he did what he did. I thought that was a letdown. I thought it was disappointing. I was like, that's his motivation? That's why he's doing these things? I don't know. I feel like they couldn't think of a good explanation, so they just kind of made up one on the spot, and it was very underwhelming, very disappointing. Also, the way they dispatched the killer at the end was a letdown. I thought that could have been done a little better. I don't know. I thought that was just kind of boring. However, there's one final twist at the end that I kind of liked. I was really hoping they'd go in this direction, too. I was hoping they'd go down that route. And I was like, oh, awesome. Yeah, I like that. One final twist. Some surprise ending, which I thought was pretty cool and pretty shocking. But yeah, great killer, one that slightly resembles Jeffrey Combs, which is cool. He was very interesting. He was a master of disguise. He was, very charismatic, too. And as I said, he took all these different identities and was tricking people and manipulating people through the whole movie. He looked different all the time. He wore a fake mustache and did wore different outfits and stuff. And I thought that was cool. He could get closer to his victims. He was very crafty, very clever. I thought that was done well. And then I liked Roz Kelly's performance as Diane, kind of a middle-aged woman who's still doing the punk rock thing. She's going through a midlife crisis, still trying to be young and dyeing her hair and wearing all these outrageous clothes and stuff. I thought that was cool. I liked her. I wanted her to come out okay in the end. And there's some pretty creative kills too. We have a person smothered with a plastic, and then the elevator scene especially, somebody's chained up in an elevator going up and down. And I thought that was interesting. I won't tell you who it is, but because I don't kind of give away an important plot point. But yeah, I love seeing all the punk rockers, all their get up, all their gear, their clothes and stuff, and I just love that whole thing. In Return of the Living Dead, the punk rock characters, I just really like that in horror movies, and they have stuff like that, metalheads and rockers and people rocking out. I think that's really cool. And yeah, when I first heard about this movie, I heard it it was criticized a lot in Bash, and a lot of people told me it was crap. But then I watched it, I was like, what are they talking about? I thought this was actually pretty good. It's not great, it's not a masterpiece by any means, but I thought it was, it did what it was supposed to. It did, what it did very well. It was just a typical 80s slasher, and it was a very interesting one. It wasn't, had an interesting killer, and, the motivation sucked, but, Interesting scenery, interesting characters, great soundtrack. As I said, with that one song and then playing throughout was just awesome. I just loved it. I was immediately hooked. I wanted to find out more about that band. Sadly, you can't find much about them on the internet. Go figure. Um, and a pretty cool atmosphere too. Pretty cool New Year's setting. I love holiday themed horror movies. This is one of the better ones right there. Halloween and Black Christmas and Silent Night, Deadly Night and My Bloody Valentine and all that. This is probably the only New Year's horror movie we have. I think. I mean, there might be other movies that take place on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, but it's not like the central theme of the movie. That's not like the main draw. Like this guy kills, every every time the clock strikes midnight, every time there's a new year in each time zone. But yeah, I mean, I guess that really covers it. Definitely check out New Year's Evil. I think it's one of the better early '80s slashers for sure. I give it about, I think it deserves an 8 out of 10. Yeah, the ending's kind of stupid. The killer's motivations could have been a little more. Most of the characters, like the victims, I didn't feel anything for. Like they were just killed, and I knew which ones were going to die and which ones were going to live, and all the people that did die, I didn't give a damn about them. They didn't seem very interesting or fleshed out. Very one dimensional and very very dull and but that's not really a problem. I don't really watch these movies for like great acting, great characters. But the killer was great and memorable, and the lead actress was good. So that's all I really ask for. And of course, great fun seeing Grant Kramer. He's always good. Killer Clowns of Outer Space. But yeah, all right, guys. Well, I'm Hellhound. Love you guys. Let me know if you have seen this movie. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until next time.